Good morning, YouTube. The Ultimate Ferrari Garage is complete, and so I wanted to show you everything that we did to it and how much it cost.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and this is my garage, and we just completed a huge remodel. So we tore out the entire thing, got it down to studs, and now, well, it is what you see here. So I thought it'd be really cool to show you everything that we did to it and kind of tell you exactly, or at least approximately, how much everything costs. Because I don't know some of the costs yet because we haven't actually been billed from our contractor, but we pretty much know about what everything costs. So let me show you what we've got in here, and then I'm also going to show you a lot of the tools that I have, so you might have some ideas for tools that you might need. So we'll go through the whole thing. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the walls. So we gutted the entire thing down to the studs. We got rid of all the old drywall. And then I installed insulation behind all of these walls. So I actually did all the insulation myself. The total cost for the insulation was about $1,000. It might have been a little bit less than that. And then I don't know exactly how much the drywall costs because we haven't been billed for it, but I'm gonna guess that that was probably somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000, probably closer to $2,000, maybe even $3,000. And then once we got all that done, I did all of the painting myself. So the paint itself was a couple hundred, it was about, I think it was about, I'm gonna say 150 to 200 bucks. Maybe it was a little bit more than that. Maybe it was a little bit more than 200 bucks. It might have been closer to $3,000. Certainly a couple $100 in paint and paint brushes and all that sort of stuff. So we got all that done. And then of course we have the lights. These two lighting kits are about 750 bucks each. I sell them on my website, so you can go buy them there. They are a pain in the butt to install, but my lord, they produce a lot of light and they are super cool. We have the Chamberlain side mount garage door opener. It has the MyQ connected app and a battery backup and all that stuff. This thing was about 500 bucks. I installed it myself, so that's the entirety of the cost of it, was just the $500. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get the app set up. It wasn't terribly difficult to actually install, so we did a video on that. It's pretty awesome. I'm very pleased with it. And then right next to it, we installed a vacuum-made Garage Vac Pro. I think this was about $300. I can't remember exactly, but I got it on Amazon, so I'll have a link in the description below if you want to get one of these. So go check that out. Also, I'll have this in the link in the description below. So again, anything that you see that's really interesting, I'll have links for it in the description below, or I sell it on my website. So next to the vacuum, we have, well, the lawn stuff. So we're gonna have the lawnmower and some tools. I'm gonna mount that little thing on the wall, and we're gonna get those tools mounted. I also have a quick jack mount that I'm getting very soon, so we'll get those mounted up as well and kind of clean this up. So this area right here, not quite done yet, but getting pretty close. What's behind door number one? This is all my cleaning products. We've got towels, we've got car care chemicals, you know, detailers, sprays, waxes, whatever. You know, glass cleaner, all that sort of stuff. We got that on one shelf. This is a bag of deionization resin. So when I use my No Spots Pro and we wash it, well, we're gonna get no spots. I've got my air blower, so the Adams polishes air cannon. That helps me dry the car. We've got a Dyson vacuum here. We've got my little mess of plugs for all the batteries and charging stuff that we wanna kind of keep hidden. And then we've of course got our pressure washer, bucket of stuff, and well, just a pump. Basically, this is all just car cleaning and care and all that sort of stuff. Cabinet number two. This one contains, well, it's basically like oil and chemicals and nasty stuff. So we've got oil change pans down here. We've got a bucket of used oil I need to recycle. We've got gas cans, lots of oil and other chemicals right here on this shelf. And then we've got stuff like brake cleaner and penetrating oil, grease, an extra bucket, and even a brake fluid bottle. And then on top of that, I decided we didn't really have room in door number one, so we put the rest of my kind of car care stuff. So we've got more towels, we've also got the polisher, and then up here we've just kind of got some random crap. So you gotta put it somewhere. And in cabinet number three, well, we've got, again, some more random stuff. We've got bags for yard waste, and we've got kind of a couple of, well, random tools up here. We got some race ramps, or well, I guess they're just ramps. Yeah, we kind of got like a little bit of spattering of stuff that's really kind of don't know where else to put it for now, so we're just kind of going here. We do have some race ramp blocks down here, and actually that is a steam cleaner, and then we have a yard vac and my motive pressure bleeder. So again, just kind of random stuff in here, nothing that, you know, I'm using terribly often. And then to kind of be a little bit less conspicuous, I put the ladders on top of the cabinet. So I don't really know where I can put those yet. That's a good spot, but that seems to be a reasonable place where they're out of the way and mostly out of sight. Then of course we have the water heater, which many of you have noted, well, that is slightly off level. And I don't know what's going on with these being all over the place. So I'm not super enthused with the move of that. So we had, if you don't remember, we had a big box right here. You can actually see the outline of it on the floor. You can kind of see where the color changes. So this was originally a big tank water heater, and then we swapped it to a tankless water heater a while ago, and then we had to pay our contractor to have them move the tankless water heater. So originally that was scheduled to cost $2,300 with the contractor doing all of the work, but I ended up doing about half the work. I tore down the walls and did all that stuff, and then all they had to do was just mount it. So I don't know exactly how much that's going to cost. I'm honestly, it's probably going to still be like 2,000 bucks. That's my guess. Next to that, we've got a TV. Well, you know, because why not? We're living in America, so TV. We've got the Element fire extinguisher. So I sell these on my website, normalguyssupercar.com. Go buy them. They are awesome. This lasts 50 seconds, way better than a traditional fire extinguisher. So keep one of these in your garage. Probably a good idea to have one in your kitchen too. I'm a huge fan of those.
The paper burns quickly.
Wow. We've got a little rolly cart, so I can take this and put stuff in it. It's got, you know, containers and whatever, so that's gonna be really handy when we're working on the cars. And then I just decided, you know what, we're just gonna keep most of the tools, like the hand tools, in the Craftsman work boxes because, well, we already had the Trace My Space organizers. So if I would have moved these, we would have had to get new organizers. And frankly, I think this is pretty reasonable to keep it this way. I love the way these look. It already is organized. I've already kind of memorized where things are, and it just kind of looks neat. So we're just gonna leave the Craftsman toolboxes as is right there. I think that's a great spot for it. All right, in cabinet up top, we've got towels and gloves and just some personal protection equipment. Moving below that, we have a slat wall with, of course, Moses. Yes, the Normal Guy logo. And then we have a drawer of, well, kind of random stuff. This is like electronics. We got, you know, stuff that I didn't really know exactly where else it would go for now. I might move some of this around, but for now, this is whatever. It's just kind of some random stuff. And then we've got, well, a whole bunch of assorted parts and screws and just random stuff. So this is actually really, really cool. I love that this has this organizer like this. And then, well, we have a trash can. That's kind of handy. And this cabinet, we've got a bunch of containers that I'm not exactly sure what all these are. I gotta remember, I need to label these. So once we label them, it'll be a little bit easier to remember what all there is. I know, like, yeah, there's a compression checker. Oh, caliper reset. I did right on the tire repair. And this is, yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember that. Oh, what does it say? It's oh, brake bleeder kit. And that's obviously a bunch of drills. All right, this might be my favorite drawer. We've got my DeWalt stuff, the screw, the impact driver, and the drill. We've got some ratchets, and of course, charging stuff. Below that, we've got, oh yeah, we need to get some real power. Oh, yeah, that's the Tim Allen impact gun. An air inflator. So one of the things that I decided to do was get rid of the air compressor because they take up a ton of space. They're really loud, and I didn't really use it for much other than like when I really needed an impact gun. So I decided, you know what? Let's just go all electric, and that's what I did. So below that, we've got Dremel stuff, and then a couple of screwdrivers and screw bits. Oh yeah, the Sawzall and some other drills, a tap and die set. And finally we've got battery charger, a jump pack, heat gun, a battery tester, and then containers that we can use for temporarily storing nuts and bolts and stuff while we're working on cars. The third cabinet we've got, well, oops, I'm not sure how that stuck to that. That was weird. I guess it's got some glue on it. We've got some spare slip-low scrape guards. I've got actually a spare Forza Componente controller, a label maker, and then some safety gear. In this drawer, we've got a bunch of random stuff. We've got zip ties, we've got measuring tools, we've got, you know, a temperature gun, caliper stuff, you know, yeah, just kind of random stuff for measuring and strapping stuff down. And we've got a bunch of containers of screws and fasteners and washers and crush washers and other screws and butt connectors and heat shrink and all sorts of stuff. And then tape and string and wire and anything that's kind of rope-like, including rope and even solder. We've got some clamps, staple gun, more clamps. Ooh, heavy. We've got bearing pullers or pullers, we've got blowtorch, and a bunch of O-rings and even clamps, and then even a kit for oxygen sensors. In the fourth cabinet, we've got, well, just a ton of random wiring crap, so I didn't really know where's a good place to put this. I figured, you know what, it's not used that often, so whatever, we're just gonna kind of stack it in there for now. I'll probably rearrange that later. Below that, I have 2 racks of just random screws and nuts and bolts and glue and all sorts of just stuff that I need to organize it all. Also, we've got my pile of license plates. And yes, before you ask, every single one of those is license plates off my cars. So these are actually my plates. And I'm thinking I'm gonna run them along the top of the wall around here and around there. I think that would look pretty cool. We have this cabinet, which is completely empty. Yep, nothing in there yet. Don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll find something cool to put in there. And finally, the last cabinet, we've got my Ferrari cover, we've got some fender covers, a bunch of big lights, battery tenders, helmet, an empty tote, actually a tripod, a bunch of race ramps, the rubber blocks for my quick jack, which the quick jack pump is right there. And then we have, this is actually a kit for filling up coolant systems without getting air in them. And then we've got a bunch of jack stands and wheel chocks and stuff. And that's kind of about it. And over here in the corner, I have my No Spots Pro and a extension cable that I need to still mount. I'm probably gonna mount it on the wall right there, or maybe even up there. I don't know, we'll figure out some place for that. But the reason I'm keeping the No Spots Pro here is it's quite heavy when it's full of water. I leave it right here because the tap to wash cars is right on the other side of the house, right about here. One of the things I didn't do that in hindsight I should have done, the spigot is like right in this area. I should have had them just put a spigot right here, or I could have had them add one, which I still could. I might even still do this. I might still have them add an actual spigot coming out of the water heater. So we could very easily do that, just kind of tap into this. I'm thinking we're gonna do something to hide the water heater somehow. I don't know what yet. It's just kind of there and it's ugly. I don't think I want a full-on cabinet, but I might make like a wooden structure or something that kind of comes out maybe to here so it hides everything, and you could actually put some stuff in there. So maybe if it like came out this far like that, and then the problem is I couldn't obviously come up all the way to the height of the TV unless I move the TV, and I don't want to do that. So I might only have it come up like maybe to here, and then we could put something to kind of hide that ugly thing and make that look better. I don't know. We'll figure that out at a later date. But for now, it is what it is. So how much were all those cabinets? Well, I bought the New Age Pro Series, and I think it's like the Pro Series 3.0. It was a 14-piece kit. It came with that cart for free. I also bought the lining and the slat wall and then a slat wall accessories. And in total, I think it was around $4,500, maybe $4,800, somewhere around that range. And I will tell you, at first I was like, oh man, that is way too expensive. I should only be paying $2,000. They do have a lower grade series from New Age that's a lot thinner metal. And I thought about it and I decided, you know what? This is gonna be here in this garage for probably forever until this house goes away, because honestly, if we ever move, I'm not bringing them with me. It's too much of a pain in the ass. These are permanently installed as far as I'm concerned in this garage. So I wanted them to last for a very, very long time. So I thought, you know what, it makes sense to spend a little bit more money, have them be a lot more durable, and just be really, really high quality. So these, I think, are really nice. You can see they are very solid, stronger metal. I think if you got them extra money, I would spend it and get the higher grade stuff. Then of course we installed a Pioneer mini split air conditioner. This is a 24,000 BTU unit, which is way more than I need in this garage, but I don't care, because when it's 108 degrees out in Texas, I'm gonna still be able to cool this sucker down to like 72 degrees and it's gonna be glorious. That I installed myself. The quote I got to install it was $1,500, not including the wiring. So I actually had to pay about $300 or $500, I can't remember exactly what, for them to run a 220 line from the other side of the house all the way through the attic onto that side of the house. That Pioneer unit itself was about $1,400. It's the Diamante series, which is designed to be installed by DIYers. So it comes pre-charged. Technically they say you don't even have to do the vacuum, but I still did a vacuum on it and all that stuff, all that sort of stuff. I feel like that'll help it run a little bit more efficient in the long run, but overall, not too terribly difficult to install. So once you add up everything that I put in this garage with the remodel, I'm gonna say it probably cost about $10,000 plus or minus $2,000. I'm not exactly sure. Again, we don't know some of the exact numbers yet. A bunch of little things do add up, like I had to buy a bunch of outlets, simple things like all the insulation, paint, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All that adds up. I already had the Swiss Trax flooring, so this was not new to this garage. I kind of brought that in from the old garage, pulled it out, put it back in. This stuff, I think, costs around $2,000 to $3,000 to do a garage of this size. This is a 24 by 24 foot garage, so it's not huge. It's a very small garage. It's a 2-car spot. And as you can see, it doesn't quite go all the way over. So it's actually only about 20 feet by 20 feet where the actual cars are parked. You have about 3 or 4 feet on the edges. So that's also why I did not epoxy the floor. A lot of people have said you should epoxy it. I didn't want to. We might do something maybe with that ledge. I don't really think it's necessary. I mean, it's so little exposed now. You can see, you can't really see the bottom of the cabinets. It's pretty much flush with the edge of the concrete. Also, another thing I didn't do is I didn't install the feet on the bottom of the cabinets because I already had them elevated on that on the concrete, so it'd make that even higher. And the second reason is I didn't want a bunch of crap gathering underneath these cabinets. I knew that if I put feet on them, stuff's gonna accumulate under there and you're gonna be cleaning under there. So I just said, you know what? Screw it, we don't need feet on the cabinets. So if you guys still have any suggestions, I have been reading a lot of your comments. There have been awesome suggestions. I don't know what else I really would do to the garage. I'm pretty darn happy with it. But if you got some ideas, I'm open to listen to it. Eventually there'll be just a few more things that we're gonna just take care of and button up the last few things. I guess the only real thing is we gotta figure out something with this. I don't know, we'll solve that problem later. It's not a high priority. The good news is the garage is now totally functional. We can start working on cars. In fact, I already have the first project lined up. We're gonna be changing out the headers in my 458. So that's gonna be the christening of the new garage. I have some Fab-Speed headers. They're gonna be badass. It's gonna change the sound to be even louder and more aggressive and awesome. Super excited about that. I can't wait to do it. We're gonna be doing that in a week or two because I have a few errands to run in the meantime. We got some stuff coming up, but we're getting really close to having that done and finally being able to do some more DIY in this garage, and we're gonna have air conditioning and heat. Oh my gosh. That right there makes me so very, very happy. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching this entire garage rebuild series. I know it's been kind of fun to see, and a lot of you have been saying that you are either going to or already are working on a garage remodel, swapping ideas, and hopefully you guys are finding some inspiration for that. If you find that stuff helpful, give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to my channel because you know we're gonna be doing a ton of car stuff coming very soon. So you're gonna wanna stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.